Good afternoon. My name is Shawnatte Wiggins, and today I will be presenting a case study of Time Warner Cable and DirecTV. The case study can be found on page 310 of your textbook, and it is Time Warner Cable Inc. versus DirecTV Inc. 497 F.3D 144, second circular 2007. Next slide. A little history about the companies. Time Warner Cable was founded in 2004 and they're based out of New York. They were ranked the second largest cable company in the US following Comcast. In 2014, Comcast purchased Time Warner Cable. And right around 2015, Charter Communication acquired both Comcast and Time Warner Cable. And Charter continued to do some of their business in Time Warner Cable's name, but they have now rebranded under a name of Spectrum, which is what most of us know. Next slide. DirecTV is an American direct broadcast satellite service provider based out of California. It's a little bit different from actual cable, but they provide the same results. It is a publicly traded company that is 34% owned by News Corp, which is a subsidiary of Fox Entertainment Group. DirecTV serves over 15 million subscribers in the United States and 1.5 million in Latin America. DirecTV is the world's largest satellite television provider. Next slide. The discussion on the case regarding DirecTV and Comcast kind of summed up as in DirecTV's advertising, they implicated that Time Warner Cable's high definition services were inferior to the quality of their services. How they presented this was they utilized an actress, a well-known actress, Jessica Simpson, and presented her in two frames. One frame was DirecTV's frame that showed her very clear, high-quality crystal. The other frame was Time Warner Cable's, which showed her to be kind of fuzzy, not so clear. Still there, but comparing the two, looking at them, you would definitely consider DirecTV as the better quality. Well, when the ads showcased, Time Warner Cable was not very happy about it. Next slide. They felt that DirecTV indirectly implied that their product was inferior. They didn't say their name on the commercials. No one said, this is my DirecTV is better than Time Warner Cable. But the commercials demonstrated the poor quality of cable versus DirecTV. Next slide. In the precedent case that I looked at two, but I'm going to explain the one that I like the most. Coca-Cola versus Tropicana. Case 690 F2D 312. In this case, very similar activities occurred as in the DirecTV and Time Warner Cable case. Well, Tropicana ran an ad that demonstrated their orange juice being pure and pasteurized right from the orange juice. And Coca-Cola alleged that Tropicana's commercials were false because they presented their product in a fresh, unprocessed juice, when in actuality it was pasteurized, and then sometimes it was even frozen. The Layham Act was used to support the case by Coca-Cola against the false advertising of the Tropicana orange juice. Next slide. The Shepherd's case that I found Following the case was Church and Dwight Company versus SPD Swiss Precision Diagnosis H843F.3D48. Well, in this case, it was kind of similar but a little different, as the competitor was suing the marketer of the over-the-counter product of pregnancy test kits. They felt that it was false advertisement under the Lanham Act by looking at their advertisement on the box. It kind of implied that the instruments and the tests that were created, that were used to create this product, was a professional grade product. And in some instances, people would think that professional grade product, I'll have a more accurate reading. Whereas there was no professional testing or matrix used at all. Next slide. The text relationships to the case that I chose was mainly the emphasis on the Lanham Act 4.3. The Act identified the key issues that the courts focus on in false advertisement. It created a federal law to combat unfair competition. The Section 43A of the Act demonstrates civil liability of false, misleading, confusing, or deceptive misrepresentation of a company's products and services. Next slide. The business aspects that I keyed on in the case was demonstrating how similar or the cases were and how impactful that the advertising could be. This case demonstrated that although not directly identifying a company's name doesn't mean that you can get away with false advertising. Next slide. From a business perspective, I would think at any point, if you're unsure or undereducated about the business aspect of marketing, distribution, any form of your business, that you would have some type of legal source or legal department that you can run these matters by. That way they can advise you on the proper way to present your advertisement that would not be harmful to yourself or your company or the competing company. Next slide. In my opinion, business competition is inevitable. How we structure our business to compete can determine how successful our business becomes. Not understanding the legal ramifications can be a highly negative impact on the business, and it is vital to our business that we be honest and tactful in all areas of service. Next slide. In this case, I think DirecTV definitely pushed the envelope with their advertisement. I think they could have used the same commercials to make their point without undermining cable. We all know advertising is a prime way for consumers to see the advantages of your product, but it doesn't have to include the slander of your component. Utilizing the commercials could have been done with just showing their product to be of high quality of service, in my opinion. The case between DirecTV and Time Warner Cable actually did not have a ruling. It was noted that the information or the presentation of evidence was unable to be ruled on by the courts. So, needless to say, there will be another court case following that one that will try to solve the problem or at least present some type of ruling that DirecTV was in fault or Time Warner Cable is just reaching too far. I think DirecTV was in fault, but I'm not a law professional, and I think that Time Warner Cable could have definitely been hurt by the advertisements. Thank you.